welcome St. Edward's students and faculty. My name is Guillermo Gutierrez. I am a concerned student. I am here with Jasta Ramos. She is a victim of, she's the wife of the victim of 9/11. This is John Nicholson. He is a congressman, and as well as Yasser Al-Umari. He is a professor at St. Edward's. We are here to discuss the recent override of President Obama's veto of the Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act. This allows the families of 9/11 victims to sue the government of Saudi Arabia for its alleged financial support of Al-Qaeda. Now, before we start, I would like to establish some ground rules, and for the audience, I would ask that you keep quiet and save your questions for the very end, and hold your applause. For the panel, I would ask you to be respectful and to only speak when called on. Each panelist will answer 3 questions, and each question would be, they have a limit of 50 seconds. Now the first question would be, do you agree with the decision made by Congress to override Obama's veto on the Jasta bill and pass it? And let's do Jasta.
Hello, I'm here to speak for the passing of the Jasta law on behalf of other families, not just myself, who have suffered drastically from the aftermath of 9/11. Justice should always be the priority. There needs to be compensation beyond this complicated process that is in order right now, and the Jasta bill allows for that. I'm against the veto I'm for the veto because it doesn't claim, it doesn't help those people who have been affected, and it really didn't help us before. So I'm for the passing of the bill because I believe the people affected should really get the justice and should really have a closure that they deserve.
Thank you. And moving on to John, I'll ask you the same question. Do you agree with the decision made by Congress to override Obama's veto on the Jasta bill and pass it?
My name is John Nicholson, and I agree with the veto, but I disagree with the way that compensation has been handed out thus far. According to whitehouse.gov, as drafted, Jasta would allow private litigation against foreign governments in the U.S. courts based on allegations that foreign governments' actions abroad made them responsible for terrorism-related injuries on U.S. soil. Basically, Jasta would allow foreign governments to sue the United States for things that have happened in military operations or really anything. It just opens up litigation against the United States as a country. I feel that this veto override has been a highly politicized issue, and with the upcoming election, I believe that the main issue of that of sovereign immunity has been overlooked, and that should be the main focus of this bill.
Thank you, John. And now we move on to Yasser. Do you agree with the decision made by Congress to override Obama's veto on the Jasta bill and pass it?
Hello everyone, my name is Yasser Marwani. I'm actually 100% against Jasta for a few reasons. And first one is Jasta actually is going to affect the world economy in so many different ways. Like, for example, Saudi Arabia has warned the U.S. that passing the bill might cause a huge economy fallout. And another reason would be it's going to make other countries stop relating their currency to the US dollar. The United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia has connected their currency actually to the Chinese yuan, just in case the dollar value will go down, is going to get affected by Jasta. And the third reason it could be, it's going to shake the trust between the countries, since they can sue each other. So basically they cannot trust each other, because if you have civilians suing other countries, governments, you're going to have other civilians suing the same countries. Problems basically. And that's why I'm against it.
Thank you. And now I move on to the next question, which would be, does the U.S. have the right to freeze Saudi Arabia's assets? And should Saudi Arabia have the right to retaliate against the U.S.? And that is
since I am speaking on behalf of, for the Jasta, I would say yes, we do have the right to freeze it because we are putting people in our country at risk by having countries supply funds for these terrorist groups that end up affecting millions of people. And it's not only the families that are affected, it's the jobs that are lost, it's everything that comes with that. So I do believe that we should have the right to freeze that. That being said, I do believe also that Saudi Arabia has the right to retaliate against the U.S. because they are their own country. But as a country, we should be able to see that them having to pay us back for that when they were the ones supplying everything that hurt our country so much, it would really be a benefit for us. So. And it would stop people by making them an example.
Thank you. And now to John, I ask you, does the U.S. have the right to freeze Saudi Arabia's assets? And should Saudi Arabia have the right to retaliate against the U.S.?
I believe that the U.S. courts do not have the right to freeze Saudi Arabia's assets, mainly under the doctrine of sovereign immunity, which has protected our nation from litigation from other nations for centuries. According to the Brookings Institute, the litigation process to resolve the case against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will doubtlessly take years to sort out and cost a fortune in defense lawyers. If this law is not amended, Saudi Arabia will retaliate against the U.S. financially, and we will see the repercussions of this politicized issue when the real issue is really that of sovereign immunity. For this reason, I do not support the U.S.'s freezing of Saudi Arabian assets.
Thank you, John. And now I'm going to ask Yasser, does the U.S. have the right to freeze Saudi Arabia's assets? And should Saudi Arabia have the right to retaliate against the U.S.?
The U.S. court does not have the right to freeze the Saudi government's assets because it's going to cause a lot of problems between the two countries. I'm talking about the U.S. having Saudi Arabia as a great ally to fight terrorism together for over 8 decades. And especially after the Saudi government has been a victim of 9/11 accusation for 15 years because of the 28 pages that were revealed lately, which shows that they were innocent and had nothing to do with the acts. And for the second part, Saudi Arabia does have the right to defend and protect its interests. According to Mark Mazzetti, a Saudi foreign minister, which called Adel Jabbar, has warned the U.S. that Saudi Arabia is going to sell all their assets if they were blamed for the 9/11 acts. Basically, the Saudi government felt betrayed from the U.S. government. No one would like anyone to accuse them of something they didn't do and just be quiet. That's my answer.
Thank you, Yasser. And now we move on to the final question, which is, does the U.S. have the right to violate the Sovereign Immunity Act, which gives foreign sovereign immunity to other countries?